Whatever appears, it is the pure space of awareness and nothing else. An easy way to think about this is that the all-encompassing pure view of awareness includes all points of view. And the points of view that appear within awareness are self-appearances of awareness. They're not anything other than awareness. And awareness is just a simple term for describing anything that appears, whether it seems to be internal or external. So points of view include everything that appears as an object or a subject outside ourselves, like other people, our own body, other objects that appear within perception. And then inwardly, thoughts, emotions, and sensations are also points of view. So rather than having all these points of view, inner, outer, object, subject, thoughts, emotions, sensations, experiences, we use the simple term points of view. Within the all-encompassing pure view of awareness, all points of view are self-appearances of that awareness and nothing else. And as they are self-appearances of that awareness and nothing else, by their very nature, they are empty, pure, and wholly positive. So what does this mean? It means that nothing need be done about whatever appears. As it is a spontaneous self-appearance of awareness, it's an appearance of the perfect wisdom of timeless awareness and nothing else. And what does that mean? It means that when an appearance arises and we just rest as awareness rather than describing the appearance, then we know the wisdom of the appearance that is beyond its label. So whatever point of view appears, say the point of view of sadness appears. If we only pay attention to the label of the point of view, sadness, then we may start to say, oh, I'm so sad. And I'm sad because this happened. And then pretty soon we're growing a big story, maybe even a book-length story about our sadness. We're sad because so-and-so hurt our feelings, and isn't this the way it always is? This happens to us over and over again, and it all started when we were a little child, and we were sad for the first time, and we were sad because our mother wouldn't give us a cookie when we wanted it, or, whatever it was. So this is how points of view, a single point of view, that isn't recognized as the basic space of awareness grows into a description that can really be endless. In other words, it can consume a whole lifetime. But in the appearance of a point of view, if we simply rest as awareness, then we understand not only the label of the point of view, but we understand also its second aspect. Each label has two aspects, the word that describes it, and also its basic space as awareness. Without knowing these two aspects of what appears, then we get lost in one or the other. We get lost in one or the other extremes of the two aspects. So the extremes of the two aspects could be one, the label that states that the point of view exists in its own right. And the other is the basic space of awareness that says that nothing exists. So these are the two extremes, existence and non-existence. And if we try to establish ourselves as being in either of those states, then we've adopted an extreme. So whether it's existence or non-existence, they're both extremes. But when we rest as awareness, we rest as that which pervades everything. It's beyond extremes. So it never takes up any notion. Forever stainless space has never held to any point of view, no matter what it is. As all points of view are only itself, there's nothing to hold to, like in pure space, there's nothing to hold to. All points of view, no matter what they are, can be likened to air filling space, just in the same way the air filling space cannot be separated from the space itself. So too, points of view can't be separated from awareness. Points of view are simply the dynamic energy of awareness and nothing else. And what does this mean to us in a very practical way about total timeless freedom that is completely beyond all words and concepts? What it means is that as each point of view appears, we have a choice. We have a choice to either get wrapped up in the label and its description, or we have a choice to rest as awareness that pervades the basic space of that point of view and stop seeking anything in descriptions of what appears. So this is very, very easy. And when we rest as awareness in a completely uncontrived way for short moments, repeated many times, it becomes spontaneous naturally without any effort. Initially, it takes a wee bit of effort, but eventually we just rest without trying to do so. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, it matters not. When we don't take responsibility for resting as awareness, then it limits our recognition of awareness. So when we don't take responsibility for recognizing point of view as it is, when we don't admit responsibility to rest as awareness, then it limits our ability to recognize awareness. And, it really is so simple because awareness and resting as awareness is completely beyond causes. It's completely beyond effects, and it's completely beyond conditions. So if we're trying to establish any causes, effects, or conditions for resting as awareness, then it'll be very difficult to do so. So if we depend on causes, then we abandon love. And if we depend on describing everything as the effect of a cause, then we abandon awareness, our own awareness. And if we depend on conditions, then we're always lost in points of view. So all these things, causes, effects, and conditions, they're all points of view. But awareness is beyond all those. It's beyond all those. So now an example of this is that if we say, well, my resting as awareness depends on me living in a certain kind of circumstance. So we say that the circumstance itself is the cause of being able to rest as awareness. Well, right away, we've elaborated a number of points of view that say awareness is caused by some kind of circumstance. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the same is true with anything. If, for example, if we consider the awareness to be spiritual, then we've immediately limited ourselves in terms of resting as awareness, because awareness is beyond all extremes, both the spiritual and the non-spiritual. So we can't really take up a position anywhere. There aren't any reference points in awareness because it's pure like space. All the points of view that appear are the dynamic energy of awareness and nothing else. When we admit responsibility just in a simple way for all the points of view that appear, and then our capacity to rest as awareness when they appear, then we begin to see that all these things we've been worried about, like the I and the personality and the ego and getting rid of these things. But all these are just appearances of awareness, the I, the ego, the personal identity. They're points of view within awareness and nothing else. There's no ego that has an existence that is independent of awareness. There's no personality that has an existence that it is independent of awareness. There's no one who needs to be fixed. There never has been anything like that. When we say that that's true, then we immediately limit our ability to realize awareness, because we're saying that there's something in between awareness and our ability to realize that there's this figure in there that's somewhere that exists apart from awareness. So whenever we establish causes, effects, and conditions for resting as awareness, it greatly and gravely limits our ability to rest as awareness. Nothing is required. If we wanted to talk about awareness in a very, very simple way, another simple way, we could just say it's the optimal way of being human. We don't have to call it a philosophy or study any books to learn what it is, and we don't have to say that it's religious or spiritual or anything else. It's simply the way of being human, the ease of being human. It's never been tied to any conventional frameworks or descriptions whatsoever.